Hello, humans! This is the second tutorial for how to code in Scratch. And in the last episode, which if you haven't watched, you should probably watch it now, we made it so Scratch can move back and forth. But right now, it kind of just looks like he's, like, slipping on ice, which doesn't really look that cool. So, let's make it so he can be animated. So, go over to Looks, and go to switch costume. Take that out, and I'll explain what it does here. So switch costume, it switches to a costume, and costumes, go to the costume tab, are these. This is costume 1, and it has Scratch in his current position, and this is costume 2, where he's like in this running position. But we can't really do this all the time. If other people are playing the game, they wouldn't see us clicking from this one to that one to this one to animate, and plus that would take a lot of time. So if we switch costume to costume 1, and then we copy that, and then switch it to costume 2, and we put a wait, which is basically what it says, it waits that many seconds or milliseconds they put in. Let's make it 0.1, that should be a good time. And we make it so it waits 0.1 seconds between moving from this costume to that costume. So if we do that, he's switching the costumes. So let's put a forever loop, which we explained in the last video, there, and then we make a when the flag is clicked. So when the flag is clicked, he will forever switch from this costume to that costume to that costume to that costume. So if we see, yep, that's working. But it's not like he doesn't turn around when he's trying to go the other way. So let's fix that. Let's just disable that for now. And let's go to this script that we made in the last video. So let's make it so when the key is pressed, we go to the next costume, which is just going to the next costume. So if we're in costume 1 and we do the next costume command, we're like, oh, next costume? So the one below here. But then if we say next costume on this one, it'll be like, oh, next costume, nothing down here. I guess we'll just go back to the top. And it'll forever be going through these two costumes. So let's get the next costume in here, and the next costume in here. Let's see if this simplifies it. Yeah, but he's still not facing that way. So let's make it so when the A key pressed, the one that makes you go backwards, when that key is pressed, let's set the rotation style, which is basically the way he rotates. Right now, if you were to rotate, like you'd be like, oh, I want him to turn the other way so he can like go that way. If you do that, he'll be upside down, and it just won't look nice. Unless you're playing with like a ball creature, then it wouldn't really matter if you just do this, because you wouldn't really notice. So if we set the rotation style from all around, which we have right now, to left to right, it'll make it so it's like paper flipping on the other side. So if you turn 180 degrees now that we have this, he'll turn around. And if we do it again, he'll turn the other way. So if we do this and put it here, will that work? No. Just as I thought. So let's take this out of here and put this back in. And let's just put this when the flag is clicked so it'll forever do this. So let's get something called a variable in here. A variable, let's make it for this sprite only, a variable is something that's like, if you have a paper and it says 1, and then all of a sudden a magic fairy wand comes along and makes it 2, everything will be like, that is 2, and it's not 1. But then if a magic fairy wand comes along again, it'll become 1, and then it will become like -5, and then everybody will be like, it's -5. So if you make something detect whether it is -5 or 1 or whatever number it is, it can be like, if it's -5, then I'm gonna switch to this costume or something like that. So let's make it facing direction. So for facing direction, we will want to always hide this variable. So let's get these out of here, put this on here. So hide variable facing direction. Although we don't want to yet. That's just for polishing the game, so you don't always, when you're playing the game like this. Oh, why is this here? I don't know what this is. So if a key A pressed, then we're gonna set facing direction to 5. I guess you could say that's left. And if facing direction is, this is just a variable, portable variable, if it is equal to 5, then we will just do nothing. But if else, we'll drag this in here. It's like saying if something is happening and if it's not happening. So if facing direction equals 5, then do nothing. But if it's not, turn 180 degrees to face that way. Let's just make them back to normal. And there. But right now, the facing direction won't really change. It'll just always be 0. So we need a way to change this. So if key A pressed, then, well, we can't do that, because if we just instantly set it to there, it'll never rotate. But if we set facing direction to 5 here, it'll make it so it's facing this way. So if it is 5, let's just move this from there to here. If it is 5, then we want to rotate. So if we're walking here, it'll be like, do. We actually gotta put this in here. If we're walking over here, it'll be like, do, but we're just gonna buzz back and forth. So we want to set facing direction to 0 after we turn. And it's gonna wait 0 seconds just so like the game can actually recognize that something's going on. So once we've done that, we need to do that for the other one. So let's just get this and duplicate it and drag it into here. Nope, don't play it. And so we want it to be, if facing direction is 0, then turn that way to turn that way. Set facing direction to 5. So let's see if this works. Let's test it out, and yeah, we're not really moving the way we want to move. So if facing direction equals 5, we forgot to put the set facing direction to that. Set facing direction to 0. Well, we have to do that when the flag is clicked. Sorry about that. When the flag is clicked, we want to set the facing direction to 0 because you always want to be facing that way. So if we test this out, nope, we're still moving in the opposite direction. It's moonwalking. So if we move, okay, so if facing direction equals 0, My brain is breaking right now. So if facing direction equals 5, then we will turn around and then we will move 10. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. You have to move the direction you're facing, and they would be facing that way. And then when they're turning this way, they'll be facing this way, and then they'll move that way. That's what we were doing wrong. Well, that's what I was doing wrong. So if we test it here, still seems to be something wrong with my code. So if facing direction, this is still here. Sorry, this is taking a real long time. There. Now you'll turn around when you're walking and you'll have an animation. So that should help you guys make it so you can face where you want him to face. But for the final finishing touch, let's make it so when flag clicked, forever will hide the variable facing direction. So now when we play, we'll never see that variable. So whoopee! We did it! Except the controls are kind of inverted, so it's just make it right now. And yay! It's working! So I hope this helped you guys make a person that's walking back and forth and back and forth. Okay? Well, in the next video, I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll be doing something else that will teach you how to make code. Bye.